Here we are then, more Aston Martin Road to Glory as we arrive at the season break. On the agenda here today we have the Belgian Grand Prix at Spa. If you haven't seen the last round, Hungary, go check it out, link in the top right. I promise it's worth it. Actual overtakes and fun and actual entertainment, so go check it out. But yeah, if you're going to enjoy this one and you want to stick around, leave a like and subscribe, and let's get into it as we have a bunch of updates and things happening in the background. So, confirmation that we get an upgrade on the aero for the wheel rims. We're also going to get weight reduction for the cockpit on the chassis, and finally durability on the turbo. We get an extra bonus this race thanks to the engine supplier Mercedes-Benz as we get the lightweight pistons, and that is going to help us out in engine power. So 4 upgrades on the car this weekend, 3 of them being performance related. We're going to go ahead and spend our current allocation of R&D points on a major upgrade for drag reduction on the brake ducts. That now brings us to the season break. As we come back, we get hit with a marketing department event straight away. So not a lot of a mystery here, just basically being asked to do some merch, and I had to pick which one was the best option. I'm going to go in the middle because I don't have a lot of cash to spend, so we'll go for the t-shirt as that is 50k, and a t-shirt is a more easier piece to kind of wear. However, we had a failure on one of our planned upgrades after the season break, which was the crankshaft, so we're going to have to go and repurchase it, which luckily we've got enough points to cover, and that should hopefully arrive before Monza, which is the crucial race, which I want the upgrade for, as it is an engine power upgrade. With that said, we're now here at Spa, ready for the race weekend, and as you can see we have a lot of upgrades from other teams. McLaren bringing a big package here this weekend, Williams as well, also Alpine. But for the most part, the field spread again continues to get closer as we all kind of group up and bunch up. We have the 3 upgrades on the way, which should take us possibly above Haas if they all arrive and they're all effective. With that said, as you can see, we're ready to go. I didn't get a weather forecast, and this is the only kind of accurate information that I got. Fully wet qualifying and dynamic weather race by the looks of it. So we'll see how that kind of pans out. For now, qualifying is going to be the first major session. Before that, we're going to jump into practice, and practice is dry. And you can see in the bottom right, the engine wear is kicking in for the MGUH, the MGUK, turbocharger, and gearbox. So after finishing our race strategy program, pace looking very good by the way, and also tyre wear looking pretty good as well, I'm actually going to use this as an opportunity to switch out engine components and basically restore full power while we're at it and we have the chance. So as you can see, we take a MGUH, we're also going to take a turbocharger, and we're going to take a gearbox, which brings us back to pretty much full power for the rest of the weekend. So yeah, after that we're going to make an adjustment. Because we have that higher power, I'm going to go a bit higher on the wings as well because of the wet qualifying and potential wet race, and also just the fact that we're compensating for that extra downforce with that engine power from the new parts. So it should give us basically a free boost whilst losing no downforce, which is great. So yeah, after that all finished, we can now jump into qualifying. As you can see, it is raining, so we're going to get, by the looks of it, a fully wet session, and the first wet qualifying, I think, of the season, if not in a long time. I cannot remember the last time we had a wet qualifying session, maybe Canada, but even then that kind of went dry in patches. This is actually fully wet, the whole 3 sessions, the entire qualifying. So yeah, currently in Q1, we're going to try to look to get through and see what we can do. Usually, and historically, we've struggled, in the wet, especially, I'd say, in the last 6 months in this game. The AI just very strong in especially traction zones, which is where I lose a lot of time. First lap on the board is last place in P11 for now, and we continue to push on a second consecutive flyer. Currently 2 tenths up, 2.5 tenths up, but we lost a lot of that time on the exit of the second Stavlo, which we just didn't quite get the line right, clipped the inside curb and lost momentum all the way down the straight. So this isn't the best improvement. We do find a bunch of time though through Blanchimont, and now into the bus stop chicane. Just keep it nice and tidy through here, and this will give us a much more accurate lap time of where the pace truly is. Up to the line, and it's going to be about 4 tenths improvement, and that moves us above Latifi, but only second from last in P14. Eventually, everyone set the lap times, and we shuffled down the order, and both myself and Stroll are in the bottom 3. So we need to find half a second to challenge Bottas in P15. You just saw the margins, and interestingly enough, only 3 cars have gone out for a final run, me and both Williams cars. I was absolutely flying on this lap, and you just saw me have a big moment out of the second Stavlo, which really wasn't ideal, so I know there's a bit of time to find there if we can get another lap in. 50 seconds left on the clock, and you can see here we're trying to just close out the lap. It's not a half a second improvement, but it's not too shabby. It's 2 and a bit tenths. We lost a bit of time in the last sector, and we dropped to a mid 51. We get ahead of Albon and Stroll with that lap in 18th place, so that is looking pretty decent. Turn 1, absolutely on the money, and we do find a bit of time. Exit wasn't as good. Let myself down there, just hesitating on traction as Albon improves and gets himself out the bottom 5. We have a bit of a moment through Radion as we try to carry a bit too much speed, and we end up actually being down in sector 1. So we need to really just basically go all out, give it everything in this middle sector now as we start to bump over the curbs and really try to push the car to the limit. Bit of oversteer again through there as we head into Malmedy, and we lose about a tenth, which was really unfortunate because we did find a bit of time through the first part of Les Combes, and we're losing more time now through turn 8, up to a tenth and a half down through there. So this really isn't going according to plan. Checkered flag has dropped. We found a bunch of time though through turn 9, through Pouon as well. Dropping to 6th gear found me a bit of time as well and a bit of rotation, and all of a sudden we're back up again on our previous best. Into the faint chicane, trying to get onto that inside curb there. Not doing too badly, having a bit of oversteer, but for the most part we find time in that sequence. Stavlo 1, nice and tidy on the power, and this is where we know there's time. Stavlo 2, as you can see, no oversteer, and we get a brilliant exit. And look at this, now we're starting to really find the lap time as we're over a tenth up. I know there's a bit of time at Blanchimont as well and the bus stop, so this has potential. You can see here again, finding even more time, and this could actually get us in the mix now. If you look at Bottas's lap time and look at ours, it's going to be close. Out of the final chicane, trying to get the power down. It isn't the best exit up to the line. It's not quite enough, and we're out in Q1, but oh my days, that was really close, and we pushed it to the limit. And to be fair, really close qualifying. If you look at Albon, Magnussen, Schumacher, Bottas, Zhou, myself, really just competitive. And considering it's a 1 minute 50 lap, the fact that, you know, 6 cars covered by a tenth, that's pretty remarkable. And I think we could have got through, to be fair. We lost a bit too much time in that moment through Les Combes and Malmedy. That just cost us, you know, a valuable tenth and a half. And also the exit at the bus stop wasn't that great. So, yeah, we could have actually probably got through on a perfect lap and a clean lap. But still, it is what it is. P18 and work to do in the race in which there is rain forecast.
We're in Belgium once again for today's round of the Formula One World Championship. It's a race that the great Ayrton Senna won 6 times, and in 2019, Charles Leclerc became the first driver to take their maiden win here since Michael Schumacher in 1992. Spa-Francorchamps then is a historic 19-corner circuit with a lap distance of 4.35 miles. There's over 100 meters of elevation change here, and with long stretches of the lap spent flat out, a good top speed will be vital for success. So with the race not far away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. Charles Leclerc lines up on pole position, and starting next to them is George Russell. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Verstappen, Sainz, Lando Norris, and Perez, Fernando Alonso, Ocon, Gasly, and Yuki Tsunoda, Mick Schumacher, Albon, Valtteri Bottas, and Zhou, Hamilton, Magnussen. They've taken a grid penalty. Martinez and Nicholas Latifi. Stroll and Daniel Ricciardo fills the last spot on the grid. Which of these talented drivers will come out on top today? And here, of course, is Anthony Davidson. Now, I want to ask you about Lewis Hamilton. As ever, the threat of unreliability is never far away, and indeed, they'll be starting out of position today due to power unit component changes. It's going to be a difficult task to move forward from there.
But on the bright side, at least those fresh components can help them maintain the power they need to come through the pack. I expect to see them take a more aggressive approach today to make up for the compromised start.
Race time at Spa, P17 on the grid. Work to be done. However, the forecast, as you may have seen, could present a challenge. I don't know what to expect here. I kind of want a bit of unpredictability, and that might give us a chance this race to have a decent result. I'm going to underfuel by 0.5 a lap. Because of the rain, we should be able to save fuel. I'm going to start on the medium. I think this is the better option. I think we can stretch it if we have to by a couple of extra laps to make it to the pit stop phase into the wet conditions. But ideally, looking at the graph, we're looking to hopefully stay on this tyre and move straight onto the intermediate if it were to be necessary. So yeah, we're going to jump into it and hope for the best. I'm feeling low-key confident we could actually get points today. I think if we play our cards right and get the strategy on point, it could be our day. So let's find out. Lovely. Right, let's do this. Here we go. Oh, it's really close to jumping to start there. Oh, that was a horrible start though. No rear grip whatsoever. Up the inside though, we're going to try and force it as we go 3 wide. Oh, we locked on there. That's just ruined my traction. Far from ideal. Here comes Stroll as well. Getting absolutely destroyed on this race start. Lost all the positions that I gained in qualifying, and we've got Ricciardo for company. Let's see, straight line speed looks pretty decent to be fair. At least better than Ricciardo. Rain is going to be a while yet. At least 15 minutes, as I just asked on the formation lap, so got to play the long game. Oh, just lost momentum there on the exit. Whoa! Gonna stab one of those at the inside as the door was left open. Albon, or Latifi, sorry, in this case, is actually gonna fight me and stays ahead. Fair play. Not a bad move there from Nicky. We'll try and fire back. We'll get a chance in the back straight down to the bus stop, as the AI don't usually use battery down there, so they should be vulnerable-ish as we struggle for grip on this first lap. Just feeling very delicate right now. Kind of having to retrain my brain to the dry conditions after qualifying in the wet. So it's going to take me a lap or two just to fully get up to speed. But yeah, we should be safe on this straight as we use a nice chunk of the battery. You can see just how much speed we have through here. This will be a pretty good overtaking spot for us in this race. We've got lots of 2 wide battles up ahead as well, so this isn't over yet. Hamilton and Albon going at it as we try to take an aggressive line through the bus stop. I just get absolutely destroyed on traction, which has been a recurring theme this season. I just struggle so much with this rear end. Good exit. Got a nice little cutback line there. This will set us up nicely for a move on Latifi. Small lift just to keep the momentum rolling as we now head over the top of the hill. And just like that, that will get us ahead of Latifi. Straight line speed working very nicely for us. Got a couple of Haas cars up ahead and a 3 wide involved in that with Hamilton and Albon. So it's kicking off here. Let's see if there's any scraps for us to feed on. Might be able to have a little look at Magnussen here. Up the inside we go. Tapping the back of Albon there as I tried to edge ahead on Magnussen. Carbon copy of the last lappers. K-Mag stays in front. I thought about it there, but I'm not going to go for that move. Oh, that's a lot of understeer, my god.
Tyre condition still looking good.
No damage. I've got damage there from tapping Albon at turn 8, but the car's in one piece. Oh, I hate this chicane so much. You can see just how much time we lose.
DRS is being enabled this lap. We can use DRS when you're within 1 second of the car ahead and in the DRS zone.
Purple sector 3 in that last lap. Let's see if we can challenge Magnussen here. Using a big chunk of the battery to try and get the run. Floor damage again, just like in qualifying. Closing. Even without DRS.
Okay, the underbody's taken some damage. You might start to notice it soon.
Oh wow, that was a massive moment. Back end all crossed up through there.
We think we might see some rain. ETA about 15 minutes.
Okay, could be a little while yet. Could be a long stint on this tyre, but we're not going to pit. Got to try and get back within DRS range now. I lose so much time in that middle sector, which is far from ideal. Albon, Magnussen battling away. Albon out of DRS range. So Magnussen looking to make the move. Let's see, there might be a bit more action here. Oh, Albon in deep. We almost drive into Magnussen. We just avoid him by the smallest of margins. That could have been an absolute disaster. I'm going to fall in line here. But we can definitely get Magnussen. We get even more damage, which that could be a problem. But we'll clear Magnussen. Not quite enough to put Albon under pressure. We're going to have to wait, but let's see if the car is actually drivable. Hopefully it's manageable. Usually floor damage is okay, it's when you get diffuser damage. Right, let's set Albon up here for the move, and let's try to get P15 away from him. And then I'd like to latch on to the group of cars ahead. Wishful thinking, won't be easy. We are extremely poor in the middle sector, even with the higher wings and the adjustment that I made after practice before qualifying. But let's see, that Williams is a bit slippery on the straight, and that sort of exit isn't going to help. That was actually a good exit for me, but the AI is so good on traction. We'll try one more time. Okay, that's pretty good actually. Managed to keep the car pinned. It doesn't feel too bad regarding the floor damage. So here we go. We'll go for it. Yellow flag ahead. Oh my god. Can we do that?
There's a new strategy available on the MFD.
Let me know in the comments. Do you think that's fair? Stroll's out. He's been picked up. We've got a bit of a dilemma on our hands.
It looks like rain is inbound and we're expecting it in around 5 minutes. 5 minutes until the rain. Dries definitely seem like the fastest tyre at the moment.
Now I've got a pit. We'll go for a set of softs. Actually, we'll go mediums. I'll play it safe. We're in a decent position here, so I don't really want to throw it away by risking too much. I'm assuming that AI will mostly go for the hard tyre, so we'll still have an advantage on the medium. I could have gone soft, I'm just not too certain. Just in case the rain does get delayed. We'll get away with it, and we're still P11 luckily, but that was a bit of a painful one.
Alright, we'll be doing one more stop today. One stop left in this strategy.
I was tempted to stay out, but my tyres were on like 35%. I think I didn't really factor in if the AI had gone for hards, we could maybe had a chance, but still I'm happy we've gone for this. We're in the exact same situation, but we just have a tyre advantage now to kind of compensate for the floor damage as well. I'm not looking forward to driving the wet with this floor damage. It feels okay in the dry, but could be a different story in the wet. Safety car in this lap. We're going to start warming our tyres now. Before that,
watch the conditions. We think there's rain coming pretty soon. Be careful. Dries definitely seem like the fastest tyre at the moment.
right, this is it then. It'll start raining any moment. So the hard tyre isn't exactly the tyre you want to be on at this stage. Getting a bit of last minute tyre warm up on the go. Okay.
Okay, clear.
Decent restart. Let's see if we can clear as many cars as possible with the tyre advantage. Tyres now will pretty much just about hit the temperature window once we get through a Rouge and Radeon. There we go, then let's get Gasly straight away and move into the points. AI right now using all their batteries, so it's going to be hard to pass on the straight, but we'll do the exact same thing. Here we go. Around the outside. That becomes the inside. Thank you very much. And that's top 10 for us. Let's keep pushing. Got to basically use his tyres up. Could have gone for soft in hindsight, but hey ho. Live and learn. And the rain has arrived. Let's see if it's a quick transition or a slow one. Not ideal that we're now heading onto a straight, so we're not going to have information until we get to the bus stop. Oh yeah, we're really pushing hard though. The pace is insane right now. We'll select the inters and get ready for anything that may happen.
At least another 10 minutes until this rain evens out. Stay alert out there.
I'm not sure how I feel about that message. It's a slow start so far. It's not really coming down with big intensity, so we'll be staying on these tyres for the foreseeable future.
Yellow flag.
Oh my god. Who is it? Charles?
Flag is clear. Green flag.
Charles Leclerc. And he's also cost Ocon a chunk of time in the process, which puts us right on the back of Aston now, so looking at P8 here. Battling ahead as well, it's all kicking off. Track's still nowhere near intermediates, so we'll be staying on these for the time being. I just start to wonder if it doesn't get wet enough for the interchange.
DRS has been enabled. DRS is now enabled.
We're going to have to come in and use a different compound, but those who started on the hards will go to the end, so that could actually be the ideal strategy in this scenario. So I'm kind of hoping it does get wet enough for an intermediate, at least for one lap or two. Oh my god, it's kicking off again. Oh no! Oh hell no. Please don't be one of the new components.
Tyre situation's an interesting one, but I think the right call is to stick with what we've got for now.
God, I need to check. I think that wasn't a new component. The MGUH though has gone pop, so that's our race over. Why is every time I'm sniffing for points, I have to have this issue happen?
Red Bull pulling out all the stops today. What a great win. Anthony Davidson, a resounding victory today. What set them apart from the rest?
I'd say it was down once again to good, consistent driving, nailing the corners, working to the track conditions and perfecting the team's strategies. They got all of these things right today and the results speak for themselves.
Here come today's winners. The team at Red Bull have done a phenomenal job recently. It's clear to see that they've put in the work and they should be proud of the victory they've secured here.
There we go then guys, that is the race at Belgium. Definitely not what I had in mind or what I hoped for. I think actually the results make for interesting reading. So everybody one-stopped, which suggests to me that it didn't actually get wet enough for the intermediates because people like Ricciardo, Ocon, Hamilton, Gasly all finished in the points, and then someone like Bottas, for example, who went for the softs, finished in P14. So yeah, Lando, another podium, keeps that good form going from McLaren. Ricciardo from last 8th. And yeah, those who stopped twice had to stop again for another set of inters. And Leclerc having a miserable race. As you can see, a bunch of retirements, including Checo, who also retired at the end. And then a double DNF for us today, which is really, really poor. Luckily, Pierre Gasly's got a couple of points. But besides that, as for our rivals, not much really happened. So we got away with one there, to be fair. If we look at the standings, you can see we're still P11, still 3 points ahead of Magnussen. Gasly overtakes Tsunoda. Sainz still at the top of the table. In the Constructors, Haas 1 point behind as Magnussen did score a point but no change in position. And the gap to AlphaTauri now is 6 points. So work to be done heading into Zandvoort in the next race, guys. But yeah, leave a like, subscribe, all that good stuff. And hopefully we can bounce back in the next one. And fingers crossed we can actually get a few points because it's getting to crunch time now. Only 7 races remain, I believe, or 8 remain. So we have to start converting these decent races into points. So yeah, guys, that's it from me here today. As always, a big shout out to the members. Check out the 2 videos on screen if you haven't seen them already. And I'll see all of you in the next one. Until then, take care, and it's goodbye from me.